this is the mock-up, so patient will have an idea about the final treatment. If he doesn't accept it, you just remove it because you don't bond it to the tooth structure. So this is for demonstration. Besides, you get an impression with the silicone from that mock-up, and that you will use the silicone key for the restoration, and you will create something with this silicone key. So it has two reasons. One is to demonstrate the treatment, and one is to have the silicone key. So after you cure the mock-up, you can work several minutes just to make it more real. But you don't need to polish it, you don't need to make it real. But this is for demonstrating the result, just the mock-up. As you see here, the tooth has a morphology, especially the central incisor, like here. The incisal edge shouldn't be flat, so you can modify with the instruments, like using a well-shaped probe, which is an LM instrument here, or you can use anything like a probe, or you can use a spatula to give the shape wherever you want. But basically, did you mix it already?
Yeah.
Just a second. I did not cure. Please cure this part. So this is the mock-up, and I will get the silicone index through that mock-up. This is the impression material, which takes only 2 or 3 minutes to set. Okay?
It's extra fast procedure.
So you get the, for sure before you do, you check the bite and the occlusal, and then you get the impression. But this is for the demo, so I cannot do the check with the mandibular jaw. So I go directly without checking, and I get the impression. So can I have one more blow?
Yeah, sure.
So after it sets, you remove it, and you get the silicone ready for the second phase, is the palatal shell, for the palatal shell technique. You know the meaning of palatal? The meaning of palatal for dentists, for sure they know that. The rear part, or the part facing to tongue, to palatal side. So you record the palatal surface of the mock-up. So you have the reference for the palatal and incisal dimension. So more or less you are sure that there won't be a problem about the bite when you will finish the restoration with the silicone key, and you will have more or less accurate dimensions of your restoration. It's almost set. Let's take it out. So, but for this case, I need to also, could you please also cure here? Okay. Can I have the knee teeth for this?
What?
Because it's stick.
What do you want?
A knee tooth for the number 11, yeah. So we use that, and since it's plastic, it's attached. Good morning. So the class, we just started, yeah? Are you taking the picture for an... Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So this is the class for restoration with the direct resin material. So now this is the case. You remove the mock-up, okay? It's ready to be layered. But before you start, you should try the silicone index. So as you see here, I can make a close-up on the back screen. You might see that the room is ready for adding the composite layers. But here in this case, we will place on the palatal shell the enamel composite, which is here the GA from genial. Okay, the GE shade. GE shade is the high value enamel, which is nice for young patients. If you have a patient who is old, you cannot use the young junior enamel for an old patient. So you could use a low value, which is maybe adult enamel or senior enamel. So you have different options for enamel. What about for the dentin? I will just use here the A2 dentin. And you mark the silicone. And then after marking the silicone, you have a reference line, but you need to layer the palatal shell 0.5 or 1 millimeter beyond that line to the cervical area. So the next step is using the GA, or you can take them away. Okay, now the next step is using the enamel shade for the palatal shell. It's very easy. You tap on the composite, but it's very thick now. We need something very thin for the palatal shell. They say it has to be around 0.3 millimeters, so you cannot measure it. The easy way to understand if it's that thin is just to try to see the background. And when you see the silicone material through that composite, it's that thin. Or you have some marks palatally, I mean you have some marks on the silicone, and you can understand it's that thin. Like here, is a scene on the screen now with the sable brush. But the sable brush should be wetted with a modeling resin or the wetting resin, or we call it GC modeling liquid. Yeah, you just wet it with it, and if it's wet, you dry it a bit, and then you can move on the composite so you give any shape. By gentle touching, you try to keep it very thin, something around 0.3 millimeters. So as I told you, if you see the background now, it means it's thin, okay? Remember, I marked my palatal margin on the silicone index, so I need to see it, and I give shape to all dimensions. And then there's a line here, which is maybe seen, you might see it on the video, on the screen. I just cut the excess, because if it's more than needed, there will be a fold, there will be an extra layer palatally when I attach it back. So just cut the excess material before curing, and that's it. And I need to prepare the tooth structure ready to be bought. Okay, so first I use the etching. There is an prep margin. It was prepared before, but there's a prep margin, and I go and etch beyond that line to cervical area. So since this is plastic, I don't do etching now. I'll just apply the bonding material, the universal bonding agent, GC G Premier Bond. Can I have the micro brush? For carrying the bond to tooth structure, we use the micro brush, having some nice bristles. So this is how I do. So application of the bonding. So it's now ready for the final step, but before that I need to air blow. We don't have that air blow or the compressed air here. So just think that we assume that we air blow something like 10 seconds just to get rid of all solvents. Then it's ready to be cured. Yeah? Okay? And you need to cure at least 10 seconds. It's better to cure from the top area, so you can cure at the same time the buccal and the palatal part, not from here, if possible. Yeah. And after 10 seconds curing, now it's ready to be to attach the previously prepared Yeah, I know. Now it's ready to attach this silicone together with the composite resin. But you need to attach it well and ask the assistant to cure, because you can work now with 4 hands, not with 2. You need someone to hold the light curing device. And you need to cure at least 10 or maybe 20 seconds is nice. And you need to, okay, now you will remove the silicone, and the composite that you cure should stick the tooth. If not, it will come off with the silicone. And this is a possible thing, so it happens every day. It might happen. So it is here, okay? So what I mean that this is very easy for everybody. So this is a simple technique that you can do a restoration over that palatal shell. So you understand, even you're not a dentist, you understand the meaning of palatal shell. The shell which will support the additive layers. So you won't go palatally, you will stay in that line, you will add some other layers. So basically the enamel shade here is a translucent material. We will put on top of this enamel shade more opaque ones, which are called dentine. But before dentine, I'll go start with the opaque dentine. AO2, okay? Genial AO2. This will be used to increase the overall opacity of the restoration. If you don't use that opaque dentine, you will have a gray line. Grid probably. You'll have a gray line, and the restoration might look grayish because you have a very translucent restoration. That's why I use an opaque shade under the enamel, under the dentine. Before I start layering dentine, I use an opaque dentine in the palatal part of restoration. So just getting a small piece. Can you close it? I need a very, very small amount of this composite material, and I need to place like that. You see, gently touching, not harming, not pushing the palatal shell, because you can break it. Then you need to start it again. So you need to be gentle in this level, in this part of treatment, but you need to push it a little bit palatally, because over that opaque dentine you will layer the dentine, and then you will need space both for dentine and enamel. So you need to push, but be careful not to break the palatal shell. So for that reason, we can use a spatula or an instrument like LM Bistura. Okay, and you see that I add some amount of back dentine. So in the nature, nothing is flat, nothing is smooth. You need to have some irregularities, but if you are willing to have irregularities, you need to make vertical lines instead of horizontal, because you're working somewhere incisively, that you need to create some vertical grooves or lines. And never leave any opaque dentine on your prep margin. So you need to push all these opaque dentine and dentine material palatally. So you will just cover everything in the final layer, all with enamel. So you can cure now. You cure every layer step by step, and this is just okay. You cure the first palatal shell, then the opaque dentine, and later you can cure. You can work with the, let's show here, genial A2, which is the dentine shade now, after the opaque dentine. I will again cut a piece of composite. But the critical part is if you underlayer dentin, then on top of dentin you will have high space for enamel. This, maybe you will have large space for enamel, then the restoration will look great. If you overlayer this dentin, then you will have no space for enamel. So especially for someone who is new in this field, who's doing or who's trying this technique for the first time, they are not sure about the thickness of the dentin to be layered. So for that reason, I recommend them an easy way. You'll see right now, just to fully cover everything with dentin. Then before curing, do cutback. So the cutback, I mean, that material that you will take away will be replaced with the additional, the final enamel. Let me show you that you add all on top of this previously cured material without curing. You add the dentin. Now, if we cure now, you will finish everything, but we need extra enamel material. But sorry, yeah, you see that? Can I have? Okay. If we cure now, you will finish the restoration, but it will be very matte, very opaque. We want it to be live looking, so that's why I need to add enamel. But just to be sure about the final thickness of enamel, I layer, but before curing, I do cutback, and this space will be left to enamel.
Like earrings?
It's possible. Oh, this is everybody
Yeah.
has wearing some wool, or it's possible. So this is, just think that this is the shape of the final restoration. Now I will do cutback without curing. So this is very easy. So everybody can do it without any problem. So the cutback means that first you need to prepare the grooves. You have a groove here, prepare a groove, another groove here in a central incisor, and then remove some material, and then you see that I'm doing some cutback, means that removal of the dentin without curing. So this space will be replaced with the final enamel. Of course, all the lines are vertical in this area, mostly vertical, let's say it. So I'm working vertically. If you want to smoothen the surface, then you can use.
Do you want?
No, it's okay. So, but remember that final surface should be only enamel. So it's okay. So I remove the excess on my prep margin. Okay. So I will cover everything finally with the enamel. So be sure that you left nothing on the palatal side, because it will create the thickness. So just clean everything palatally, and we can start. We can cure some now. Now please cure it. Now you will cover everything with the enamel, or instead of that you can put mesial dentin, distal dentin, and medium dentin, but you're never sure when you need to finish the layering. You understand? The thickness of dentin is the issue. That the most possible mistake that we do, we underlayer, so everything looks great because we don't use enough dentin material, or we overlayer, so it looks matte. It doesn't look real. So the final layer, will be just enamel. If you're using a composite material which is like junior enamel, genial, then you can put everything all at once because this is a very handy composite.